once again, we have a lot of ranked versus ranked. First, on Friday night, we have a Pac-12 slate. I mean, the Pac-12, this is their last year, and they're giving us the best games of the year. So, number 10, Utah. We'll see if Cam Rising plays or not. That's been the story of every week for this team, but they just keep on winning. And they're traveling to number 19, Oregon State. Oregon State coming off of a 38-35 loss against Wazoo. So, Wade, let's start off with you. You got the Utes or the Beavers?
I got Utah winning this game, just a veteran bunch. Oregon State did not impress me last week. The defense looks suspect.
Chris, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with the Beavers. I will say going with the Beavers if Cam Rising does not play, which I don't think he's supposed to. We'll find out later this week. I think it's going to be a little bit like that Utah-UCLA game, kind of that slugfest where a defensive touchdown might win it. A 20-17, 21-14 type game. Oregon State's defense is good. I do think they are very good. I think Wazoo's offense is just astronomically, top 10 in the country. But Utah's offense is a little lacking, so I'm going to go Oregon State in a close, low-scoring game.
Neil?
I'm going to go Utah. Like I don't know much about Oregon State really to judge. I think Utah has been saving their quarterback for a big game. I figured he was going to play last week, but he did, and I was like, So I feel like if he's going to play this year, it's going to be this week at this point. But yeah,
well, we got a tie. I'm going with the Beavers, baby. I think that Utah slips up here. I don't know when Cam Rising is going to come back, but even if he does play, I think that this is going to be a defensive battle again. And Utah is a different team to play on the road. I think that in Corvallis, if this was in Utah, I would be picking Utah, but I think that coming off of a loss, they're going to be pissed off. Oregon State is one to get, and then look out for Dave Martinez. That running back, I think, is going to have a big game against that Utah defense. So I don't think that Jonathan Smith's squad is going to lose back-to-back games. They're one of my dark horse teams going into this season. I think even with the loss to Wazoo, they're now out of the Pac-12 race. So we're split on that game. We'll see if we're split on the next SEC showdown. Number 13, LSU, go on the road to Oxford to play Ole Miss in the Magnolia Bowl. Chris, we'll start off with you.
I feel that if I go with the Rebs, I might get some hatred from my other co-hosts. But
no, I SEC talk and you'll see.
No, I think that Jalen Daniels comes to play. I do agree with you in that past segment with Alabama. I think we're buying a little bit too much in this Ole Miss hype. Best win is at Tulane with the backup quarterback and backup wide receiver, banged up defense. I'm not so sure how good Ole Miss is as a whole. I think Jackson Dart's very good. I think Jackson Dart is a very competent, capable quarterback with some good weapons. But I think LSU, just that offense is just going to be able to get the better of them. I think Gabe Neighbors might have a big game again, and I'll go with the Tigers.
Neil, you rolling with the Tigers?
Always, especially against Ole Miss. But, and the thing is, though, we are a 3-point favorite on the road. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of says something that yes, Ole Miss has got a lot of hype, and they probably have a better wins than we do so far this year with being a ranked Tulane. But I think we're going to go to Oxford and take our business and bring that huge ass trophy back with us.
Wade, I know you picked Ole Miss on last night's show, but are you picking them on tonight's?
I gotta hide the shirt for this pick. You know what? I'm gonna beat the jinx, and I'm gonna stick with Ole Miss.
I could be picking Ole Miss.
I know, but you didn't on the other show. So, look, this is a game I circled a while ago, and yeah, I think Ole Miss did get exposed on Saturday. The offense didn't look nearly as explosive, but this is a tough game for LSU, and like we talked about, kind of the up and down nature. I don't think you can get off to a slow start in this game because I think Ole Miss will get off to a fast one. I think the inexperience will hurt the Tigers in this one. I could see a late error, not by Jaden Daniels, but maybe a defensive penalty, like a roughing the passer or something like that. So I think this is going to be a heartbreaker for LSU, but don't worry, Tiger fans. I got some wins in store. I think that if they lose this one, they go on an absolute tear and beat Alabama later in the year. But got to stick with my guns and go Ole Miss.
Well, yeah, last time LSU took the trip to Oxford, that game was over by the half. It was not pretty. So I am going to go with LSU, but I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this one. Two suspect secondaries with the quarterbacks. I think that Jackson Dart coming off of that embarrassing performance against Alabama, he's going to want to right the ship. So I think it's like a 38-35 type of game. It might be even the race to 40. Whoever gets first to 40 wins this game. But I think I am going to go with LSU. I think it's not going to be a pretty game, but a win is going to be a win for LSU. The next one is another top 25 matchup in the Big 12. Number 24, Kansas, baby. Jalen Daniels and that Kansas Jayhawk offense coming off an impressive performance against BYU. They had to travel to Austin to face off against number 3 Texas. Wade, do you have the Jayhawks pulling off a massive upset here?
Hey, they've done it in the past, but I actually am buying into this Texas team at this point. Not as a championship contender, but I do think they're the cream of the crop in the Big 12 so far. So I'm going to stick with Texas in this one. I think this one will be a little bit lower scoring than people are thinking, and I think it will be close. But give me the Longhorns by about 7.
Neil, who are you rocking with?
I'm going to go with Kansas. I think that game's always wild. It's always funny to watch Kansas beat Texas and rip Texas fans' souls from them when they think they're good. So I think that trend's going to continue in the last year they play each other. As I know Texas fans are so thrilled to never have to play them again unless they choose so on their own willingness, which I doubt they ever will. So they're happy.
Chris, are you going to agree with Neil or are you going to agree with Wade?
I'm going with Wade. Baylor alum, as a Baylor alum, watched that Texas game, and it was so depressing. I don't know if Baylor's just really, really bad, which they might be, like capital B bad, or Texas is capital G good. I think both are kind of true. I think Kansas will give them a fight. They're always feisty. They got that weird triple option-y pistol, shotgun, 2 quarterbacks, throw into back to them, quarterback draw, whatever you want to call it. And I think that it'll be kind of cool, kind of close. But I think Sark's got this team in the right direction. And next, they better not look ahead, though, until Red River, which is the week after. Good spot to look ahead. It could be a little trap game, but I agree with Wade. Maybe a little closer and low scoring, but Texas gets it done.
Man, my heart wants to go Kansas, but I'll be a smart man. I'll pick Texas. I just think, in the defenses here, I think that this could also be a high-scoring shootout. I feel like last time we saw this was a double overtime game, like 52-51, and Kansas pulled off the 2-point conversion to win that game. I don't know if it's going to get to that margin, but Texas, they have been vulnerable. They look really good against Baylor, but past couple of weeks, they beat Bama. We don't know how elite Bama is. Are they good or are they elite? Who knows? But then they struggle, like you mentioned. They were 10-10 going into the fourth quarter against a very solid Wyoming team. I think Wyoming is a team to watch out for in the Mountain West. But nonetheless, I will go with Texas. Another one, we go to Independent versus ACC, but this should just be an ACC conference matchup. Notre Dame, please just join the conference. Number 11, Notre Dame at number 17, Duke. I'll go ahead and start this one off. I think Duke gets it done. I think that this is a team that I've been high on going into the ACC. Mike Elko and that defense is going to play. I think this is going to be another defensive battle. Sam Hartman, I think, is going to have some troubles, but I respect Riley Leonard and his arm. I think that Duke gets another big victory. So, Wade, you're going to go with the Fighting Irish? You go with the Blue Devils?
You just swayed my opinion. I thought this game was in South Bend this whole time. It is in Duke, and I watched Duke take care of Clemson at home. I know that Clemson's not as good as Notre Dame. But yeah, I'm gonna take Duke in this one.
Chris,
I'll stick to knowing what I know, and I know that Sam Hartman is a very good quarterback. So I'll go with the quarterback matchup. Sam Hartman just a little bit better than Riley Leonard. I think Duke has a little experience here and there. The Clemson game, you could make a case, was kind of fluky. A couple of goal line fumbles and missed field goals. But I think Notre Dame gets it done. Very low scoring. But that rushing attack, Audric Estime, is just really good. And I don't think Duke will have the firepower against that Notre Dame defense.
Neil?
I'm going with Duke. I think Jordan Waters is the real deal on Duke's running back. He's done himself so far this year of dominating this year. So I'm kind of leaning towards Duke on this game.
I'm just glad that one of us picked Notre Dame because I did not want all 4 of us picking Duke, and that would just look really bad. But the next one we'll go to is I just put it on here because I think that the whole nation's still going to be talking about Colorado. But we have number 5 USC traveling to Boulder, big noon kickoff. Once again, this is like their 3rd out of 4 times. They took a week off to go to Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Whoopie freaking do. That was a 20-6 game. What a game that was to go to. But Chris, who you got between USC and Colorado?
USC, Caleb Williams is going to have a field day, to put it nicely. I think that offense is electric. Though they were kind of shaky against Arizona State late at night, couple of bumps here and there, but I feel that USC is just going to absolutely boat race. Also, a 10 a.m. local kickoff. Never heard of that before.
Hey, it's going to be very commonplace once these conferences expand.
Yep.
Yeah, but at least with
LSU had a 10:31 a couple years ago, I think, Wade.
Against Florida in the makeup game.
Yeah, that was my like first year on Saturday. I just remember having to show up for work at 6 a.m. or something like that. I'm like, it was miserable. I want to say I even slept in the stadium that night because it was such an early arrival.
Is any of you picking Colorado, or we can just move on with this game?
Stat pattern for Williams.
Yeah, probably going to be the Heisman one.